Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Who is behind these people? Who is behind these great presidents who show up today, make a statement, and the next day or within, I don't know, 48 hours, they come and retract that and say, well, actually, I misspoke, or actually, that's not what I meant, or something like that. What pressure is behind these guys that makes them do that? I noticed that, I observed Macron doing that. Macron said for so many times certain things during this war in Ukraine that ran against something. He said, no, we're definitely not going to send any tanks over there. No, we're definitely not going to talk about this. No, we're not going to do this. And they did it. Remember when Macron said, well, yeah, we should win, Ukraine should win in this war, which means they will win in this war, it's not Ukraine. But then he said, we have to be careful not to humiliate Russia. He said that. So that was his initial position. And he said his reasoning was, if we do that, we're going to have the same situation as the First World War, which triggered the Second World War, partly because of humiliation of Germany. So the guy was thinking a little bit more elaborate, a little bit more sophisticated than the other ones. And he was slammed like, oh my God. And the next day, I think he came out and said, well, actually, that's not what I meant. It's, So he retracted that. Then he kept his mouth shut because he was afraid of the mob. After all, this is France. What forces are behind that we don't see? We can just from time to time feel over there. When you see the leader of a country like France, and I'm not talking about Albania or Romania or something like this. That's France that has, an ego. It has power. Is a nuclear armed country. And this guy retracts that. Remember when he was called out by a weasel from Ukraine? I can't remember if it was Zelensky or Reznikov or someone, a weasel, that he didn't even know their names prior to last year in February. He told Macron, what do you have to talk to Putin every day for? What did Macron say? Instead of saying, who the are you? I never heard of you, like Farage said I never heard of you. Who are you? They're saying, who are you here? You tell me, but instead of saying that, what did Macron do? Stopped calling and talking to Putin for about almost 2 months. He started talking with him again when Scholz spoke. So when Scholz started speaking, he joined in, supposedly as joint, talking to Putin. That's the president of France. He had to muster courage together with someone else to be able to do something that he felt normal before he was called out by whom? Who is bigger and greater than Germany and France? Great Britain? I don't think so. Is the United States of America? I don't think even that. I think it's beyond that, because I see the Americans saying something today and changing the next day. The president misspoke. Remember, the press secretary comes out and says, oh, actually he misspoke. What do you mean he misspoke? We understand English pretty good. And what happened now? If you remember, Macron said, do not humiliate Russia, blah, 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 blah. And then he was smacked and he went back under that little rock that he crawled from. Now we have another guy with balls. Unexpectedly, the newly elected president of the Czech Republic. Czech Republic was like a whore. You can do whatever with no paying. I am going to give Ukraine anything you guys want me to. I can repair, I can give them tanks, I can give them training, I can give them anything. Just ask and I'll be ready. Now, it's a general, I think, who was in NATO. He came as the newly elected president. I think he was invited by by Zelensky to come over there to shame him and then to tell him, give me money now. Don't go, guys, don't go to Kiev. If these leaders go to Kiev to visit, they will be grabbed, taken to, oh, see that destruction, that's the evil Russians. Give us money now. What? What? That's how it worked with each and every leader went over there. The second they came over there and they, oh my, visited, at the end was, see the destruction, now you owe me. And if you don't give me, it's because of you, because this is going to happen. It's, this kind of cheap way of guilt building and shaming. I have no guilt. What do you mean? It's your bullshit with those guys. Well, it's not like that because the forces of good. Anyway, so here we have Macron back in business. And he dares to say something after this guy said something. All right? All right, maybe in the same day. So I don't know if they were spoken or they mustered courage. So the Czech president-elect warns against such Ukrainian victory, which would ruin Russia. This is what he said, what the other guy said too, 7, 8 months ago. And this is what Macron said. Macron states that crushing Russia will never be France's position. So all of a sudden, we got some courage here from this guy and this guy. Obviously, they were both attacked. This guy was attacked by Ukraine, obviously. Finland and I think Sweden, another, it's somewhere here. It was, his name is, just so you know, so you keep his name, Petr Pavel. That's his name, all right? And he was a NATO general, former NATO general. And let's see who are the weasels with the brown noses, right here. These were the brown noses. So this what occurred at the Ukrainian launch, including the prime ministers of Sweden, Finland, and Estonia. They, it is worth noting that neither of the other participants' presence during the Ukrainian launch, including the prime ministers of Sweden, Finland, and Estonia, support Czech position. So this guy says, no. So this is what it is. This guy's bashed the Ukrainians. What are you talking about? But this is what he said. Logically, he said, okay, you destroy Russia, then what? Do you have a plan? Who are the people who's going to be in charge? How many people? And how many parts do you think Russia will break? Then what? They will have nuclear weapons, so you don't know who you're dealing with. At least now you know Putin, he's an evil guy, but at least he's talking to you. You don't know if it's going to be Kadyrov and others, they're going to get some nuclear weapons, then what? So you can't control it. He's afraid that we're going to create, they will create a worse situation in Russia than it is right now. And for, learning reasons, just looking back in history. Remember, United States of America and these forces of good brought freedom and democracy to Iraq. Look how great and how flourishing Iraq is. They're in Iran's hands. They're dealing with those guys. Look how Libya, freedom and democracy, got rid of Gaddafi, as bad as he was. But if you want to know how bad he was, just look a little bit and read about his aqueducts, his water that he got from the desert, and he provided drinking water to the population. That was maybe the greatest project ever taken on by a country. I'm not, oh my God, Libya. I don't have anything with Libya. I'm not Libyan. I don't give a. But look into those constructions. As bad as he was, what's now? What is now? Ruin. Look at Afghanistan. We're going to reconstruct Afghanistan. Where is now? Back in business with the Taliban. So, as someone said, everything that these guys touch, referring to the United States of America, goes into ruin. So you want Russia? Russia has nuclear weapons, has landmass. Probably that's what they want, but they want the energy and they want to make sure that Russia will never be able to militarily challenge anybody, including Albania or, I don't know, the Principal of Monaco, Principal or something. And they want a full access to the energy, the resources. That's what they want. So in this case, this guy, the Czech Petr Pavel, Peter Pavel, says, well, take it easy. You don't know what you're asking for. The other guys were instinctively, hey, what are you talking about? Bad dude over there. And then, what's his name? Macron, he also dared to say now something. Let's see what this guy says. Will never be, never say never, right? French President Emmanuel Macron has stated that crushing Russia has never been France's position and never will be, although he wants Russia to be defeated in the war with Ukraine. So Macron talking to French media outlets on a plane on his way back from Munich Security Conference. And he said, I want Russia to be defeated in Ukraine, and I want Ukraine to be able to defend its position. But I'm convinced that in the end, this will not end militarily. Oh my God, that was bad again. I do not believe, as some people think, that Russia has to be completely crushed and attacked on its own soil. Those observers want, above else, to crush Russia. That has never been France's position on it. Never will be, end quote, Macron. We'll see what's going to say today. Today is the 19th. He has time to say, oh, that's not what I meant. He's going to be smacked by the big forces, it seems like. The French president highlighted the support for Kiev needs to be enhanced, end quote, in order to start moving towards, and I'm quoting, negotiations that deserve trust. So, in Macron's opinion, neither side will be able to win completely. Oh, that's exactly what, if you remember, Mark Milley, the U.S. Military Chief of Staff, said that the Ukraine war will end up at a negotiation table with both parties none of the two parties claiming victory or something. Well, I think they were all claiming victory, because that's how they're going to write their history. Oh, we beat the Russians. Oh, we beat NATO and everybody else. That's how they will write it. Why do you think they're going to say we lost both of them? Yes, and ultimately the Russians, the Russian nation and the Ukrainian nation lost. Or let's start with Ukrainian nation lost and the Russian nation lost. And everybody had just to win. Do I say that? Look how much profits the big corporations are making. Energy, banking system, and military-industrial complex. They're having a blast. Why would they want this to end? It's a frenzy. What are you talking about? They're right in the candy shop, and they don't have to pay anything for it. Just grab whatever they want to grab. So, who are those forces? Who are those forces? Those forces are not Biden. Let's put that to rest. Those forces are not Kamala Harris or the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. That's not it. That's not it. And I think those guys are a combination. Are a combination of. It's not Soros or it's not. They're part of the whole scandal. You know, it's not Bezos or other weasels or Schwab. Schwab is just the person who tries to drag them together. But once you show up, that means you're not that. These stay behind, and they let other people come forward. That's why it can't be the guys that show up at Davos. They are just a representation of something behind. Look how NATO fights Russia, not face to face, through these weasels. They say, well, we just support them, but no, you don't support. You do everything but get engaged legally, officially in the war. That's all. I mean, you send airplanes, you want to send tanks, you send long-range missile systems, you defense missiles, everything. You give them information, intelligence, where to hit, how to hit, and you tell me you're not involved at all. It's the whole thing here. That's just what showed up. The same thing with Macron. I'm waiting for Macron and Peter Pavel, the newly elected Czech president, to say, "Oh, my bad. They actually let me give you what I said." And they're gonna say, "No, they said this so many times." So yeah, the fact that these guys have to form an alliance instead of one saying, like Pavel saying, "This is what I think, man. That's it." Oh, we'll find out if he's going to retract that, and I'll be here to let you know. I'm very curious. But it seems like this is a big rupture, and this united, monolithic West. It's not, as they say, well, that showed NATO is united. They said over there, NATO is united, and this Russia thing unites us. Where? Tell me about Hungary. How united Hungary is with NATO, for instance, or with the European Union. Oh, just that. Look at Poland. Poland is yes, 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 but it's sued by the European Union for some hanky-panky judicial problem they have. And not only that, it's about the war. Certain countries don't want to have anything to do with it. Look at Austria, the same. Austria, nah, we don't want to do anything. We don't want to send it. We don't want to train Ukrainians on our territory. No, no, no. That's NATO, isn't it? And not only, you don't hear anything about Romania, but Romania has a lot of bullshit happening over there. Why? Because they keep quiet. If you don't hear anything from Romania, that means they're working on something. That's the Romanian way of doing things. They don't come and say, you know what, I'm here and I'm going to do this. And no, where's Romania? Oh, they stole my my wallet. And they didn't say anything. They don't come and say, hey, I'm going to come and take your wallet right now. And what are you going to do about it? Bam, bam, take your wallet. No, it's going to be like, let me pay for this. Was Romania around here? And I say this as a Romanian born. That's the way they do it. But that's the way you have to be as a, how should I put it, not that strong, a weak country, an important country. That's how you have to behave, like a how do you call it, like a weasel. You have to be like a fox. You have to get to be sneaky. You can't be like the lion, where I'm going to take your wallet, and I'm going to take it because I'm ready to beat your ass. The same here. They have to be pop, 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 pop. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. These guys are not united. It's something else that makes them, in appearance, to be united. Something else behind that has to work at keeping them together. And they don't keep them together like, hey, I love you, this is the right thing. No, I think it's something about, you're going to lose the next elections, you're going to lose the support here, we're going to do this to you, we're going to do this to you, this is going to happen, this is things like this. I think of this kind of nature, not a positive thing. Positive reinforcement, it's always a negative, punishment. That's how it is. That's what I think. You tell me if you think differently and give me the information. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.